Hello, welcome back to Booze and Banter. Paul, the Curious Sommelier.
Greetings.
Michael, Lord Funshire of Yorkshire, still unofficial.
One day.
Maybe 2030. We'll see. We'll see. I gotta talk to the right people. I've talked to no one, but welcome back. How are you doing, Paul? Good to see you.
Doing great. Yeah, feeling great. Life is good, and
nice.
Although it's early week. Feeling.
We're out of the holidays. We've been through it, and I was reading last week, and then I don't know if it's because I read it or it's just the week. It's cold. It's like we're in that lull. We're in the post-holiday lull.
Right.
Was it Friday or Monday? Like last Friday was like kind of the blue day where one of the the saddest days of the year, and people are just not at their best.
They get their credit card bills.
I was going to say that. I didn't know we'd go there. Yes, that is also not a wonderful thing to receive. But I mean, in that credit card bill, we should see the joy that the holidays had, or maybe the stress. I don't know. I don't know.
But one way or the other, there are days that just seem to attack you, and you feel kind of down, right?
Yeah,
and for whatever reason.
Yeah, I just I was talking to you earlier. I wasn't feeling my usual joyful self. Just not on the right vibe. And I was like, we're meeting today, and I was like, what would get me there? What would get me to sort of feel a little less blue?
Right.
We may have taken this too literally.
I don't think so.
We'll get to that. But seasonal affective disorder, I guess the SADS, I think it's called, is diagnosed. I read it was an American article. I think they said 1% of Americans have it. 4% have another version of kind of seasonal sadness that isn't quite as severe. And they talked about some solutions, and the UV light was one of them.
Right.
But I don't have one of those. I'm not sure I need it. I feel like it's just a moment in time. It'll pass. Things like not one to be sad long. Maybe I just need some more sleep. But I was like, what can I do since I don't have a UV machine?
Right.
To pick me up. I don't,
you can go for a walk. You can get some
sun
exercise.
Exposure.
That's all good. Those are all good things, but
a little less fun than what I came up with.
Right.
Wasn't my first solution. I did actually go for a walk today. It made me walk faster home because it was cool out and I was feeling it on my cheeks. I was like, I am regretting I didn't wait for this a little later in the day.
That's right. What else can I do? And as a friend, I'm going to say, what else can I do to help my friend get out of the grays and into the happy place, right?
Into the happy. I mean, I don't know. Like chatting, human connection. This is good. This is great. This is great. Big help. Always excited. Yeah. That's why I was like. That's why I noticed it. Because I'm like, I'm always excited to do this, and then it's like, well. I don't even know if I make a good sad face. Look like maybe I'm like had something bad to eat.
Bathroom's down the hall to the left.
To the left, right? Yeah. If I hit the pantry, gone too far.
That's what that says to me.
That's what that says. Okay.
But
work on my sad face. Got it.
Sad face. But the thing I find is that oftentimes you're in that headspace. When you're in that, the walk is great, the whole thing. The last thing, some socialization can really help get out there. But I also find, I think it's a great idea. Like, where do I want to be? How do I get myself out of this? And oftentimes it's going to a happy place, right?
Yes.
So go to a happy place. How do I get there? Like what, it's a, winter day, whatever. Wouldn't it be nice?
I wanted some sand on my feet.
Oh,
I wanted some nice sand. Pick the beach, sand location of your choice. That's what I wanted. But I thought maybe that's not everybody. Maybe people want to feel summer and barbecue, or that moment with friends. Maybe beer pong if people are still doing that. Maybe it's cornhole now, whatever. But so maybe it's the grass. Kind of hard to get grass right now.
Kind of hard to get grass. But wherever that happy place is, wherever it is, whether it's a hot beach, with the sand on your feet or the grass, or whatever, there are things that we can do to take us there, and oftentimes we have very powerful. Our senses can oftentimes take our mind to where it needs to be, and I think that's what we want to talk about today, right?
It is
how do we, what is it that's gonna get you into that frame of mind? So for me, it's all about integrating the senses, and this is one of the things I love about wine specifically, but food and wine generally is you integrate the sense of touch. A glass feels something on your lips. The texture of a dish. That's your sense of touch. Your sense of sight. You look at it, you're like the color, the way it seems, it sparkles. The dish, the appearance can take you there. The smell, the way it all smells comes together. The taste.
That's a big one for me.
Yeah.
The taste and that. Well, I mean, taste and smell connected,
Taste and smell,
but
yeah. But these are very, very, particularly the sense of smell is very powerful. It's very emotive. It has the ability to take you in your head to another place. So, and if you can pile all those together, you can get yourself out of a blue mood.
So, I'm going to overshare.
Okay.
We'll just pretend no one's watching.
No one's watching. All right,
so I was in the shower where I think almost all the great ideas come up with because there's nothing really to distract you.
Right.
And I don't know if it was just like the mistiness of the heat rising.
Right.
But I wanted that sand under my feet. And I don't think I can go to like the local like Home Depot or wherever and break open a bag of play sand and put my feet in it and be like, no, I'm fine. That felt like it might have been an awkward conversation with not just the manager, potentially law enforcement, depending on how everyone else's mood is. So I don't want to gamble. But what could I do to transport me there the fastest to get all the sensations? Right. And it's like what you talked about. It's the sight and it's the smell for me. Those are the two things that can get me there. Like I mean, on a slightly different plane, but like fresh cut grass. If I could talk, can't. But that fresh cut grass, that sends me back to 9 a.m. baseball games back when I was like a teenager. Right. Like I think I can hear the cleats walking on the dirt. Like all of a sudden I just have like this train of like visualizations and like these memories. The fresh smell of the dew on the grass. Like, and then I was like, okay, like I'm getting closer to sand because at least I'm thinking of dirt here. But then I was like, I just wanted to go to Mexico or like the Caribbean for a day. Right. And I wanted to live ocean breezes. I mean, if I could get to Australia, that just feels like such a long trip. But like the smell of the ocean was what I was craving today. The smell of the ocean. There's something about standing on a beach. The breeze hits you. You can feel your hair. You feel your hair go. And like, I feel the whispers in my eyebrows. And like, you're looking out and like, there's just like this, like that kind of freedom. Yeah. Wow, really? The eyebrows got you. Okay, well, fair enough. Thanks. Thank you for that.
I didn't want to say, but I think you need to.
I know, it's okay now. Let's finish the rest of the show like this. It's okay. Don't zoom in, people. You don't need to. It's fine. But yeah, like I just thought about being on the beach when we were there last year with my in-laws and like having the moment, like the kids were running around with like whoever they were with, not on their own, but like, I was looking out and like the shore crashing, my feet in the sand, and they were sinking, like that nice, relaxing, sinking feeling. And I just kind of had a moment of like, I don't know what you want to call it. Nirvana is way too far, but it was just like this peaceful, appreciative moment. Right. And I was like, I could just use that now. And I don't run into those. I'm really grateful, like generally very happy. I don't run into that, but like today I just needed that feeling.
A little pick me up, that little.
Yeah, I wanted to see the blue water.
Take me away for a bit.
Yeah. So I came up with a solution knowing we were getting together today.
Yeah. And it's a great one. I love it.
I'm encouraged. To get to, I've been kind of salivating over it. But we made a small twist, which I think will come out really nice. But do we want to tell the people my solution? So I want to go to you before I tell. I love teasing you all for no apparent reason. Love to be that guy. I have a secret, but I won't tell you right away. So, like, do you have anything else you want to top up on the taste or the smell? Because I'm with you. Like the experience with the baseball diamond, I'm sure people have it, whether it's a rainy day, you're in like the West Coast. The humidity on a hot day, maybe it's playing in a park on the east side, or like the east coast of North America.
There's so many, and it's the beauty of this is that it's so individual. Everybody's got a different experience.
Yes.
I always say, like, when I grew up, I spent my summers on the family farm, and my grandmother would say, "Oh, go pick some raspberries for us." Right? And so I would take my sister, and we'd go and we'd pick raspberries, and I loved it. My sister would come out, and my sister. when you're a kid, your sister spoils everything, right? So,
Sure.
so I would make the experience kind of nightmarish for her because I wanted to be alone. I wanted that to be my thing. So I'd throw raspberries at her, or I'd do whatever. You're a kid, right?
Classy.
Right.
No.
So the interesting thing is that the smell of fresh raspberry bushes, that the leaves, the smell, the taste, everything like that, I love that. I have really positive memories of it. My sister, not so much.
Can't imagine why.
I know, because I made it nightmares for the poor girl, right?
I shouldn't lie.
So
Right.
her and I taste raspberries, and we have completely different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
The raspberries taste the same, but I have this layered experience. The moment I taste a fresh raspberry, it takes me right there. Wow, amazing, the smell. Even for instance, if there's no greenery, I can taste the raspberry, but I can smell the leaves because you move the leaves. And some of those oils get in your hand. When you put the raspberry to your mouth, I can smell the leafiness.
Right.
When I taste a good raspberry, I can smell the leaves. I can smell the farm, the warm earth, everything about it. It's fantastic. My sister, all she remembers is me rubbing dirt in her face. So, for her, it's not a positive experience. So we taste the same thing, completely different experiences. The key to me is what is your package of experience? Where does that take you? And the more you can do that, the more sensations, the more things you can do. So for instance, if you're used to on that beach, I've gone down to Mexico and love the beach and everything,
Absolutely.
a nice glass with a nice cocktail when you're getting ready for dinner or getting ready for lunch or whatever it is, that, I had this kind of glass. Just be conscious of reinforcing that same thing. Instead of saying the same glass for your cocktails, like instead of having different glasses all the time, have the same kind of glass. It'll reinforce that message. Every time you grab a glass that's similar, that's one trigger to take you back to that moment.
Oh, interesting.
So the smell, what was the garnish? Well, the best garnish I had was lime. Okay, well, if you're making it at home, don't use lemon, use lime, because that's another trigger.
Right.
So the more triggers you can include of your sight, smell, taste, touch, sound, do it. The shaking of you're shaking that sound. I don't care where you are. You're like, I got a good cocktail coming. It's a happy sound.
I was like, what's funny? You said, I don't think I ever had a bad memory around a cocktail shaker. Right. Now that might be like for therapy later, but like, I don't know what it is. Like you said that, and I was like, all of a sudden now I'm listening to cocktail shakers, and it's taking me back to like socializing, which is again something to help you get over the blues. Yeah. Like just that, like the connection with friends. It was dancing.
Oh,
it was like food, and it wasn't even like necessarily good food. Like I was younger, so we were out. It was the experience of the collective.
It's the experience, and so those sounds, and I think it's important. For me anyway, like when I go to Greece and I do all that, and you're traveling, I love going to Greece, and those beach experiences are comparable. But oftentimes it's about a plate of calamari and a cocktail or a beer or a glass of wine. And so for me, one of the rituals that does it for me is the lemon wedge.
Oh, okay.
So the plate in front of me, the smell, it's fantastic. The breeze coming through, all that.
Yeah.
When I grab a lemon, like a half lemon, and I just squeeze the juice, now I'm touching the lemon. The smell of the lemon zest, all of that is part of the ritual that I attach to the memory of that. So when I squeeze lemon over that, the smell of the lemon, then the taste of the lemon. Oftentimes you squeeze the juice, and the juice is all over your fingers, and I'll be a savage, but you taste it, like, oh yeah, that fresh lemon. So these kinds of things take you right there.
I think the other thing that maybe I mean, I'm gonna expand this past like ourselves, but like everything we've talked about, the one thing that's kind of been in my mind is like, this is where we lose it with technology. We watch other people's experiences, but then when you do these things yourself, you can start. I mean, maybe it won't cure everyone's blues. I'm very excited to see where this takes me, just in the conversation. Even just talking about the baseball, thinking about you on the farm, that reminded me of another trip. Like I took in my early teens to Saskatchewan a bunch, and again, most of these are about collective, but it's also about a tangible, lived experience.
Right.
That like you had, I've had. I'm sure you at home have had.
Yeah.
And that I think is what sometimes is is missing. And if you think about the holidays, oh man, I'm just having all these revelations now for whatever reason, better or worse, it's like them, don't like them, but like, what are we doing at the holidays? We're hanging out with people.
Yeah.
Hopefully people we love and want to have around us. Our holiday cocktails, we talked about maybe dealing with some relatives that maybe get a little bit out of control. But for the most part, you're with people who you want to be there or bring you joy or you haven't seen. So like you have those memories of like kids or summers or whatever, you're reconnecting and you're getting all that back. And yeah, I think now there's been that gap now. Now you've kind of like, I've sworn off people for a while. We've made it through New Year. I'm back at work. This thing at work still sucks or whatever the case is. Like, you're back into maybe something familiar, but not necessarily as enjoyable. And I think we forget that having this kind of experience is like creating an experience like this, creating it, and you can do it. And it can be as involved or, like you said, the lemon juice. I love that, the lemon, because that is something you could just, like, you could buy a lemon.
You buy a lemon and
79 cents.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm grilling a chicken breast or a steak, whatever. Yeah, grab a half a lemon, squeeze it over top. For me, it's one of the key triggers that takes me to a happy place, because I've never had a bad experience around squeezing a lemon over some food, because I'm always having great company, or I'm an elevated experience, or I'm on the beach or something. So I love that experience of squeezing a lemon.
Totally.
And it's tactile, it's the smell, it's everything, and it immediately triggers this happy place. And this is something, this is why we have pictures of all over, that's why we love, as humans, we love to surround ourselves with pictures of things, because it takes us to that place.
Right.
It connects us to that memory. And the more layered you can make that, the more intense it takes you back. And this is part of mental health. And this time of year, like you think about the holidays, your house is decorated, the smell of a Christmas tree, all these things, the potpourri that you have going, the food, the baking, everything. The house is just filled with all these massive triggers. You can't but be in a good mood when all that's happening. Well, now it's gone. And now you have this hollow, like, right? So now is the time for all those other memories, and you can cultivate that.
Absolutely.
So find something. When you're in those moments, you're at the beach or you're at somebody. Find something that you can always trigger. A lot of times, it's the wine glass. We in North America love our wine glasses with these elegant stems and everything. A big part of it is that you never have a bad experience when you have a really nice glass of wine, because you're socializing. So that now you have the tactile, the sense of touch. You're trying that every time you put that nice wine glass in. If you had a beer stein, like if you had a big,
also never had a bad experience with the beer stein.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that maybe is a bad experience.
No.
Go for it.
Well, you said about the wine glass.
Yeah.
And I just, again, you're just triggering all these things in the best way possible, Paul. But like, I don't know if you've read the laws on a wine glass. Have you ever bought a wine glass, read the instructions? Have you read the laws on them?
I don't know that I ever have.
Right, because they don't exist. I just made that up. There's no laws on a wine glass. You can, if you're doing dry January, as people are, which I think is a great way to maybe cleanse that, depending on what you've taken in over the holidays or decide to let go. But you can put anything in the wine glass. Yeah. Can of Coke, a beer, like, to your point about that wine experience, I think that tactile is really important. But just because you talk with the wine glass, you don't need the wine in there if that's not your thing. Like, you can fill it with
water,
anything, and you can use the whole wine glass, not like a wine person who's just filling it to the bottom, where like you're like to get the scent. Like water, exactly.
Like
and some lemon juice,
and some lemon juice. Yeah, it does. Oftentimes, like I'll have a glass of wine and then a glass of water, a glass of wine, glass of water. And I use the same glass.
Yeah.
I make sure, I'm not pouring wine, I get down to 3 ounces of water and then I pour wine into it. I'm not doing that. But if that's your jam, then you go for it. But the fact is, I find that because again, even though it's just water, if I'm having a lovely conversation, sometimes I'm swirling the glass, I'm doing whatever, but it's part of the ritual,
right?
That triggers a happy mind space. And that I'll tell you what, to me, that's gold.
Okay, well, we have stems.
Yes.
A stem for each of us and a lemon. Why don't we go make the Blue Day Special, a Blue Lagoon, to get that tropical feel back and sand in the toes.
Yeah.
and let's make what
Let's
like I
do
said,
it.
a little modification. We'll show you in the next section here, and then we'll come back and taste.
All right, sounds great. Let's do it.
And away we go. Okay, here we are, the Blue Lagoon. Something to cheer you up, make you feel tropical. Researched the recipe a little bit. Someone came up with a fun twist by using tequila and a little bit of, what was the extra? Like, you use a little bit of slush, you can maybe use some tonic, and kind of turn it into like a margarita type thing. Google can be your friend on different varieties or what you have. But today we're going to do the classic version here, which is just with vodka, blue curacao or curacao. I've heard it pronounced different ways. And then it says with lemonade, but Paul and I don't want that level of sweetness. So we're just going to keep it a little bit simpler. We're going to use some lime cordial. So it's 1 ounce, 1 ounce, and then the lemonade would be 4 ounces. But today we're going to make it a nice tight martini, and we're just going to go with that. So first I'm going to get some lemon ready. There is already ice in the shaker there, which will help our drink be nice and cool and refreshing. It'll feel like the sea breeze, you know, you're out there, kids are playing in the sand, or no kids, you're kid-free maybe. It's quiet, you're reading a book. Oh God, I can feel the sand on my feet. Oh, wonderful, just wonderful. So I like adding a little bit of lemon juice in. We'll also do a couple wedges to garnish the glasses, because you gotta have garnish. We like to pretend we're professional here, so why not see it all the way through? Do your little cut through. I'm going to check for some pits. Oh yeah, I'll make sure Paul gets that one. Don't worry. We want to make sure he has a nice uncomfortable taste there.
Hey.
Oh, Paul, you're there. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, so like I said, so here I think last time when I did this during the holidays, I had a shot glass with my different measurements. This is an elevation mug. Is that what it's called? Oh, sorry, yeah. Elevated craft shaker. A friend recommended this to me, and it's one of the best shakers. Like, it's great. It's all in one, locks tight, easy to clean, and it comes with, I'm going to show you here. That's in there. Is that right, Paul? Can you see in there?
Oh, yeah.
Has the measurements already in there in mLs. Should you be on the metric system, or ounces if you prefer imperial. Go figure, Canadian, I'm going to do this in ounces because that's just how it is. So for 2 drinks, it'll be 2 ounces of the vodka. Again, you could use gin, really tequila. You could use a non-alcoholic product if you would like. I don't know what the orange replacement would be. I guess just maybe a lot of orange juice. Orange juice might be the difference here, but we're going to go 2 ounces of this. And a little extra for Paul. And this will ideally get you over a Blue Monday in a great way. So for the lime cordial, we're not going to do 4 ounces. It's concentrated. That would make a very imbalanced drink. So I'm going to do a 1/2 ounce, like a 1/4 ounce each for us. Okay, there we go. And then throw it in, shake for about 30 seconds until your arm gets tired. Huh. Looks like the ocean, calls to me like the Caribbean. Gosh, to be on vacation right now. Whew, 30 seconds. It is not there yet. A lot of idle time on the camera. Okay, we're almost here. Best thing about an analog clock is making cocktails with it. Okay, and done. Okay, and now we have a Blue Lagoon to make any Monday, Thursday, Friday, to help you feel tropical when you most need it. Man, if this doesn't make you think of the Caribbean, I don't know what will. And here, cheers. Ta-da!
Yeah, look at these.
What beats blue?
Come on. Blue Lagoon. It's
looks
great.
looks like the ocean.
Back in the day, I made an ocean of Blue Lagoons. Yeah, I made a ton of.
Oh,
this
sorry,
as
that was a
bartender.
joke. I
That's
thought you were
bad joke. Bad.
you were gonna have some like recipe. Okay.
No, it was great. But guess what I get to do? And thank you very much for it. I get to take my lemon.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was going to do the same thing.
Really? Well, let's do it.
Well, okay. So I'm going to taste it first because I like to.
Okay. All right.
I like. Here, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to no more blue.
No more blue. Oh, that's dynamite.
I like that we didn't use lemonade.
Yes.
We went with the lime cordial. I also like that it fits in the glass. I feel like now all of a sudden you have a glass up to here,
right,
and it's a little bit disproportionate.
Yeah.
The reason, and I forced you to do it. You didn't have to do it. I like to taste it because then when I add the lemon in, I like that. I don't know. There's something about like the switching of the experience. It's lame. You can just add the lemon
Not
in
at all.
like Paul was going to do. So
not at all. I'm a big believer in a variety of experiences. So try it with this, see what it's like. So but for me, as I said, this ritual. Oh, it's going to go in.
Look, I'm doing it.
Oh. Right? Like you got it in there. What am I going to do? Oh, I mean that just
can't have sticky fingers in the white room.
I mean, come on.
Partners.
Yeah. That's good. That's dynamite. That's amazing.
Nice. I like the lemon now. It's got a bit of a green, a little green at the right angle.
The color a little bit, but because it's bright. But you know what? Like I always say, like lemon. I love lemon. Anything that adds some acidity and brings some zip, some liveliness to it. Mm-hmm. And I think that like lemon does a great job. But if it's lime or whatever, I mean,
absolutely,
you can do that. But reinforcing the lemon here.
What I love is, for me, why this has perked me up is like you get that reminder, and we talked about it before, like the cool drink shaken over ice. Ugh. And like you can feel like your body temperature drop just a little, and like then that kind of like accentuates the breeze, and like then like the sun's kind of there like warming you up again. Like it just has all the notes of just being tropical. Maybe it's just the blue curacao and the blue curacao. Maybe it's the lemon, but
just, the other thing is like you're holding it by the stem, and it sort of elevates the experience. When I'm holding something by the stem, my mindset immediately is it's a more elevated experience. And so I'm predisposed to looking for the subtleties and things. If it's just that's just me and the way that I've trained myself and the experience that I've trained myself to do.
Maybe. I don't know if I believe that. Because I remember like sitting around with my dad and talking about wine.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know what it is. Like there is something about, and maybe we're just all fidgeters. Like there's something about having the wine glass or a glass and just like you can swirl it.
Yep.
You can be a little bit playful.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much with the martini glass, but I don't know. There's something, it just, I don't know. I think there's something else experiential about it that I think is a distraction, and in a good way. Like it kind of allows you to take your mind off things.
Well, that's just it. And that's for me again. Maybe it's just because I've had the same behavior repeatedly. I have a water glass, so when it's a bigger, heavy one, I'm drinking it because I'm thirsty. It's a liquid. When I have a stem, it's part of a more elevated experience. I'm not just like drinking water.
Right.
Like sometimes, you drink beer, it's refreshing, it's nice, and great beer is like,
I do.
Come on, it's fantastic. But then there's something, again, more elevated about this. And so you find, like, for instance, we're still holding our glasses. Why? We're not drinking. Why are we holding it? Because our body, our mind is saying, there's, this is a mind plate. This is a headspace that we want to be in, right?
Oh, I was just really deep in blue eyes. Like I just went from that lagoon to that lagoon.
I do have blue eyes. It's true. It's true. Not this
just to make it uncomfortable.
Oh, cut it out, you.
But yeah, I think there's something. I agree with you. I don't know what the. I relate so much better to a wine glass, but there is
Yeah.
something experiential about the stem of a glass.
Yeah.
And I think we don't, you know what, we don't do this. Maybe this is my theory in 20 seconds. It's like, we don't do this every day.
No.
Like water bottles, water glasses, like
Yeah.
this is just, it's a different change. Like when you pull a martini glass out
Right.
or a wine glass, there's signals involved, and not just like we talked about with the people,
The way it
but
looks.
it's at the end of the day. But it's not just that. But I think it's also like the mental lead up to what's to come.
Right.
Like you're done. You've packed up, or you're done with the kids. You put them in a space, ideally breathable,
Not
you know,
closed and locked.
not
Maybe
closed.
so.
You know, or like it could be maybe
Depends.
close and locked, but like enough air to not be. But like you're then like you're going to a different space with this, like with the stem. It's just not an everyday, like it's not something, maybe you do it every day, but like you're doing it at a time of day. You're doing it at a point. Typically, probably not first thing in the morning, but.
Well, like it's a good point. It's a good point. And maybe we're belaboring the point, but I know.
Probably knowing us.
Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah. And it's like and some tangents here or there. But like I remember like, oh, I'm going for some wine glasses. Oh, I'm just pulling out the regular wine glasses. Here we go. But I reach for the great wine glasses, and the comment is, "Oh, we're drinking something great tonight." Well,
right.
It's not just wine; it's a great wine. So the sight of those really good wine glasses, the sight of this versus a tumbler, you're like, I'm having a cocktail. This is, oh, I'm having a martini, right? Oh, is James Bond joining us? So how are we? Like, you know what I mean? Should I dress up for this? We're having, you know what I mean? Our mindset changes based on what we see and oftentimes what we feel. And I think that this is something that we're exploring. I know, for instance, in yoga classes, they're like, okay, well, there's sounds, there's smells.
Right,
how do we make sure that when you smell lavender, you relax? Well, every time we do something relaxing, we pump out lavender. So every time you smell lavender, you're like, association, relax. This is what happens here. So this, I'm definitely feeling better.
Oh, I am no longer blue with my
No
Blue
longer
Lagoon.
blue.
No longer blue.
No longer blue.
I mean,
And
company included. Like it's been the whole
goodness.
experience
Yeah,
today. But
like this is, I look so forward to doing these with you. That is great. And because I also know that we're going to have something great. So I'm anticipating not just great conversation with a good friend, but something delicious. We always do fun stuff.
yeah, and like today we kind of just a little less scripted, but like I was like, what do we have? And I was like, I don't like a bourbon's great, but that's not the vibe. Like, like it's funny how I think people connect to the beverage or a food,
Right.
and whatever it is,
Yeah.
and I think that's. I don't. Sorry, I should say it's funny. I find it fascinating how people connect because there is so much, like we talked about earlier, with the experience about how you really see and feel and smell something. And like okay, so here's my weird connection to the Blue Lagoon. My dad had this like they built a bar after I left. I went up to school. They built the bar. So happy. He was so happy.
Would you build a bar with you around?
With me around when I was younger,
No.
yes. I drank very little back then.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I shouldn't be surprised.
No,
I suppose.
well, it's funny. It's funny. We will talk about that another time with perceptions. It's funny how people like think I was to what I am today. It's been a lot of growth.
Oh yeah.
As we all do, hopefully. But he got a drink book, or I bought him a drink book for Christmas. And he kind of went through a martini phase. So I don't know if you remember back in sort of the early 2000s, not to date myself, but martinis started to make a bit of a resurgence. Like I think they were big in the 70s, 80s, like those 60s, you had those cocktails, like
I was a bartender then, making all those drinks.
Right. And then they went
Not
away.
like I'm dating myself.
No, not at all.
Because nobody else will.
I just glossed over it, so no one would have a chance to think about it. But they started making a comeback in the 2000s. I remember martinis and like,
fruity.
I'm trying to remember the one. There was a vodka triple sec. It wasn't cranberry. That's a Cosmo. I was something else. I can't think of it right now. Maybe it was a lemon drop. but like I got him this book, and it is like it has a textbook feel. It has a spine back. You can see the pages we like the most drinks because that's the most stained, and like has a gin, tequila, but like it has these classic ingredients, and then mixes and I think today that's where it takes me back to. It's a little bit of like homage to my dad, but it takes me back to a gift and a time where we were just kind of having fun. I think that's maybe what I wanted as a little bit of memory of a fun time.
Yeah.
And I really unpacked a lot of a blue drink, but like that's like the last time I think I had one of these.
Really?
It was back in like Vancouver in my parents' basement when I probably made one for him and I. Maybe I made one post then for like someone else, but like that's what I connect this drink to now. After everything we've talked about, there it is.
But there, you see, it's funny.
All wrapped up.
But it's funny. It's and you know what? It's the freshness. It's the experience that also brings you so you have this hybrid experience. It triggers a number of memories. So warm climate, sand, refreshing. But then doing that with your dad, like how great is that? For me, this is. At that time, I was a bartender at university and at this fine dining restaurant, and I made again an ocean of Blue Lagoons. I bet you I made 1,000 a week. Like it was ridiculous, and I used to make them tons.
So
every time I see it, I'm like I'm right back. I can tell you the layup of the bar. I can tell you the sounds. I can tell everything, and and how much fun I had because I had a lot of fun doing that. That was great, and it was a great gig during university, and
no one thought to rename them the Brook Shields, or was that copyrighted? Yes. If you don't know the joke, Google Blue Lagoon Brook Shields.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, neither of us do. Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah,
but
no, the flies.
For me,
I get it.
Again, you're absolutely right. Every time I see a blue cocktail, I'm like, oh yeah, that bar. I remember making those. I remember seeing them like because I don't know at that time they were all the rage. People were making that and the Mai Tais. Oh my god, I made about 1 million Mai Tais and Blue Lagoons. So a table of 6, 3 Mai Tais, 3 Blue Lagoons. Done.
A lagoon of Blue Lagoons and then an ocean of Mai Tais.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh man,
we're
gonna edit that. That's gotta be edited out. That was horrible.
You know what? Off color? Oh!
What color?
Blue?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Off color. It's not clear. It's blue anyway.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
See, that's a dad joke. Yours was actually a good joke. Mine was a bad.
Yeah, if you like the jokes, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah. We'll figure it out. But no, I do feel better. But it wasn't. It wasn't just this. It was all of this.
Right. And, it's that whole thing.
Making the cocktail kind of was the start. Like really kind of like.
Well, the sound of the shaker, the whole thing, that was brilliant. And you do a good job of it, man. You do a great job.
I just like to have fun. And maybe on that note, we'll say cheers.
Cheers.
Have fun. Stay curious. Take care. Till next time.